Yes, that's an electric drill. And no, you're not on the wrong channel. We are decorating cakes. If you want to make a tall cake or a multi-tier cake like these ones, a central dowel is absolutely essential. That's what's going to keep your cake standing up rather than leaning like the Tower of Pisa or even toppling over. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to install a central dowel for when you want to make tall cakes or multi-tiered cake. Let's get cake decorating. Here are the tools that you need. You're going to need an electric drill and an electric drill bit the same diameter as your dowel. So that is a dowel. It's a plastic dowel and it's a long one. You're also going to need your cake drums, which is the thicker one that's going to be at the bottom holding the entire cake. And then we have cake cards, which are going to be between each layer. Now I've got a cake tin that's basically going to act like a support for drilling. And you'll see that I put a kitchen towel inside so that even if I go all the way through, I'm not going to damage my cake tin. You'll need some tape and you will also need a glue gun and some scissors for cutting things. So what you're going to do first of all is you want to find the center of your cake drum or your cake card. Now just there I'm showing you that the diameter of my drill bit is the same as the diameter of my dowel so that the drill will make a hole the same size as the dowel and it will fit in snugly. Now here I'm being extra precise and I'm actually trying to mark out the center of my cake card. Now some people are really good, they can just eyeball it and find the center. I don't have that advantage, so I like to be precise. I'm marking the center and then I'm going to drill a hole in the center. So you want to hold your cake board firmly and drill that hole. So you can see why having that support of my cake tin does help. So be careful and when you're doing this so that you don't hurt yourself. So now I'm checking the hole. The hole is the same size as the cake dowel, fits nice and snug. And I've done the hole in two of the cards because these are really thin. And this hasn't gone all the way through, so I'm just finishing that process. And again, I'm checking to make sure that one, it fits snugly. And also at this stage, you want to be having a look to make sure that it's actually at the center of your cake board. If it isn't, you might have to do the process again. So that is ready. I'm just going to put it aside. And oh, I'm going to look at the bottom so you can see that that's remnants of card there. You want to make that bottom bit as flush as possible so that when you put the cake card with the cake, it will sit nice and flat. So just tidy up either using your hand or using a scissors for that bit. So once you've done the cards, you can move on to the board. Now, the reason I'm doing these is because I'm using this to make a multi-tiered cake. So it's a lot easier to make the hole pre-drilled. So when you're stacking your tiers, it will just go straight through. If you're using wooden dowels, you might skip this step as you can sharpen the top of the wooden dowel so that it's pointy and that will just pierce through the card as you stack your cake. But if you're using plastic dowels, then you do this stage. Now we're going to repeat the same process using a cake board. So you can already see that the cake board is much thicker than a cake card. So you need to be extra careful when you're drilling a hole in your cake drum. So again, here I'm being extra precise and marking the center. Um, you want it to be at the center, otherwise your cake will be slightly screwed and it will ruin the aesthetic. Now there are actually devices that you can buy that are pre-marked based on the diameter of your cake drum, and it will help you find the center of your cake drum precisely but you don't have to buy this if you don't want. So there I've just made a cross and marked the center, and I'm just going straight down with the drill, holding the cake drum firmly, making sure my fingers are out of the way, and just drilling a hole gently, um, and then just going through that process, making sure it's nice and flush in there. So you'll see that as I go through, the drill will like literally go all the way through. So make sure that you have put a kitchen towel or something inside your cake tin, so that you don't actually go and pierce a hole or dent your cake tin. And again, making sure it's nicely snug. Then you'll see that I'm going to flip the cake drum round to look at the bottom and make sure the bottom is flush, the same way that I did for the cake drum. Once I'm happy with the finishing, then we're going to go over to the next step, which is how we secure the dowel to the cake drum. So we're going to be using glue to secure the dowel to the cake board. Now remember, we've made a hole, so if you put glue, it's going to sip right through. So what you want to do is to use some tape, masking tape, a tape that is wide enough that will cover the hole, and you want to basically seal up the back end of the hole so that when you pour the hot glue in there, it's not going to sip through. You might want to tape it round a few times to make sure it's nice and snug. So now the hot glue has melted, and what you want to do is add some glue on the bottom end of the dowel, so that you have something to adhere to the actual rim of the hole that you've drilled in the cake board. And then you're also going to be squirting some of that hot glue inside the hole, and then you will put the dowel inside the hole for it to solidify and stay in there. Now, hot glue is easiest to use because it's nice and secure when it hardens. You can also use any strong adhesive glue as well. So one more thing to make note of is we've ensured that our central dowel is going to be the center of our cake board. We also want to make sure that it is straight. Now, this is the stage where you should check this, because once the glue has set, if your dowel is wonky, you're not going to be able to adjust it. So once the glue has started to set a little bit, at this stage you want to check that your dowel is straight. So right here you can see that this dowel is not straight, and in a moment I'm going to straighten it up. Now ideally, if you have a leveler, that, or like a spirit level, that would be the ideal tool. I do have one, but I couldn't find it, so I'm using a smoother which is straight to make sure that it is flush with my smoother and is nice and straight. And that, home baker, is how you install a central dowel.